Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the Orleans oddity herself, Sandy Reevy. Say hi.
Hi, everybody.
It is episode 224, November 7th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have a long week starting with today, Venus square Saturn.
More work than fun.
Then Sandy's conflict day, Tuesday, November 8th, election day, full moon in Taurus.
Stand ready, hidden agendas.
Sun conjunct Mercury.
Vote now.
Mercury opposing Uranus.
Unexpected situations.
And Wednesday, November 9th, Sun opposing Uranus.
Volatile situations.
Thursday, November 10th, Mercury square Saturn.
Results are stuck.
And Venus trine Neptune retrograde.
Do we find a remedy yet?
And Friday, November 11th, Sun square Saturn.
Day is dimmed.
Saturday, November 12th, Mercury trine Neptune retrograde.
Stillness of water.
And finally, ending the week with Sunday, November 13th, Venus sextile Pluto.
Gracious and compliant.
Then we are reminding you of our Talisman of the Month. Then on the horizon, we're going to discuss many events that we have upcoming for you all. And in our house, Sandy has an update on her weight loss challenge. Listen in to hear her challenges and big successes. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you.
Hello, Orleans oddity.
Well, when you Bourbon Street's the oddity, right? No cars down that street. Only kangaroos and snakes and vampires. Oh my, right? To be in New Orleans on Halloween weekend is just like a normal day in New Orleans.
I bet. I've never been, but one day I will.
Oh no, you've never been. Okay, well,
No.
And it's really interesting too because there's houses of hoodoo and houses of voodoo, and
Those are different.
tarot card people just lined up on Jackson Square, and it's quite the oddity town because just so much is going on of mystery magic. The street performers, just it's a fun little place to get into. I prefer that actually over Las Vegas.
Interesting. I probably would too. Okay, so let's go direct to all of our listeners. Thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you so much for your emails. Remember, you can email me any of your comments, questions, and feedback to alex@intentionbeads.com. We have a message from Elaine C. She shares, my niece just got married on Saturday. They said their I do's at the exact moment of Venus Cazimi. It wasn't planned, yet divinely timed.
Oh, I'm getting chills.
That is pretty cool that they weren't planning that.
Oh, talk about true love. That they didn't plan it because it just, merged.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
I need
beautiful.
to plan that for something for you.
And congratulations, Elaine. That also sounds like a beautiful ceremony as well.
Especially that you knew that, right?
Yeah. So she
knew that.
Right.
Right. I love that.
Maybe shared it with the bride and groom. Who knows? Okay, so let's move into transits. We have a long week.
Oh my gosh, every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and of course, Sunday. I call this week squares and oppositions. Oh my.
Right. This isn't going to be the only oddity.
With my face looking like this. Ah.
Right.
Yeah, I've said this multiple times and in multiple places, but when I write my year ahead at the end of the year prior, I wrote 2022, obviously in 2021, and I get to this November period right here, and I'm like, oh my God, Tuesday, November 8th is my conflict day of the month, and then I go over all my conflict days of the month and then find the conflict day of the year. I'm like, November 8th wins hands down as the conflict day of the year. And I call my friend Susan Goodell, the astrologer in finance, and she's like, well, because she's way more political than I am, although I've become more political in the last 6-7 years, as all of us have that haven't, we just put our vote in and move on, right? That's the season for this 4 years. That's the season for this 4 years. We have done that for years. And now I'm in that, I'm in that force. And she said, that's that midterm election day. And I was like, oh my God, we need to do a webinar around this. So we have had this webinar planned for a year, and we just recorded it a couple days ago. So it's worth picking up to get this. It's $25, but man, we put an hour's worth of data and slide presentation in it. It is so worth your information. You'll understand, and you won't get mad. I mean, you can get frustrated and irritated, whoever you are, although the people that listen to our podcast are those people, that, it's the energy of the sky that is happening down here on the earth plane.
So shall we start off with the first
Oh
transit?
my gosh, let's get
Monday, November 7th, Venus square Saturn.
This is more work than fun, really. Any planet button up or squaring, tensing, Saturn is chilly and lonely. It may be something someone is not saying. There may be a limit of what is being shared. This is Venus and Scorpio. So it's not a bad idea as it might be portrayed in a threatening manner. So hold your tongue. This may be a day where, this is the day before election day. It may be just best to, share with your peoples what it is that you feel on a deep level, Venus and Scorpio. Make a good choice on who you express to. But square Saturn may come across threatening, and and we don't. People that are listening to this don't want to be threatened, nor do they want to create threatening situations. But we may just be in it where we might just have to choose to be chilly and lonely.
Interesting. So the next day is your conflict day, not only of the month, of the entire year. And that is Tuesday, November 8th. And we start off with one of 3 transits, the full moon at 16 degrees of Taurus.
So this is the total lunar eclipse. So where the earth moves between the sun and the moon, because it's a full moon. So the sun's on one side, the earth is in the center, and then the moon is on the other side. So the earth sheds a shadow on the moon. And it becomes a little bit like the apple, the bite of the apple comes out of the moon, and then the moon turns red because it's kind of like the umbra that goes over. Now, let's just remember that the moon is women. The moon is a Luna, and it represents the female, the feminine. So I don't know. This just seems like a day where women are eclipsed. They're not paid attention to, particularly with the full moon. Now, this could have a better effect. The full moon is in Taurus. So the moon is in Taurus. This is her place of exaltation. So she is up high on the throne. I don't know. This is a zero cycle 6 south. which is about authority figures, is about forceful relationships, manic environments, per Bernadette Brady. Again, all this is talked about in the midterm elections, because we get really into this eclipse. We break
Into the webinar?
yeah,
in terms of
yeah.
Okay.
But let's just get back to the details here. This happens at 5:02 a.m. Now, this is a 6-hour eclipse. That's a long eclipse, which could last for 6 months up to 6 years. And that's really interesting because Susan, when I said 6 years, of course, my political friend says, oh, that's the 2 years of the midterm and another 4 years of the presidency. So will women be eclipsed? So I'm going to catch this early. I will get up. I'm going to plan on getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning in Chicago.
Because we'll be able to see this lunar eclipse.
Yeah, the exact lunar full moon eclipse is at 5:02 a.m., which means the moon is just setting on the horizon in the west, while the sun is about to come up in Chicago. It'll come up at 6:37 a.m. So we've got about an hour and a half before the sun comes up and then the moon goes down, right? It's at full moon. We're always at the exact angle of opposition. So check it out. Now, you could get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but the further you wait till 5, it's going to be, as the moon hits the horizon or some trees or a mountain, it gets harder to see because it goes through all the debris of the Earth's atmosphere. So, when I say 2 o'clock, I'm going to open my eyes, go look, probably go back to sleep, and then come back up and do the 4 a.m. until the sun comes up. And let's just remember a couple things here. The lunar eclipses are always more emotional, and they're always more internal while we ponder the problems of life. So, isn't that what we're worried about right now or concerned about, are the problems of the United States as our life here? But this can also be brought on by our own thoughts and feelings. So whatever we've been thinking over these last 2 weeks, these last 6 months, since the last total lunar eclipse that we had in May, and actually there's a slide that I have on our webinar that I took from my bed in Greece in Amargos Island when we had the total lunar eclipse, and it's a beautiful picture. You have to go there to see it. There's just so many planets involved here. You're going to follow through. We got Mercury there. We got Venus there. Venus is combust. Venus is inner detriment. She also represents women. We got the Saturn Uranus is Titus for the last time here on this chart date. So yikes. Stand ready. There's hidden agendas.
Right. And so the second transit of the day is Sun conjunct Mercury.
Vote now. This is as clear thoughts. Whenever we talk about a Cazimi, the Cazimi means there's really two main descriptions of this. I have been tending to use more of the 1 degree on either side of the sun. Modern astrologers use 17 solar arc minutes. But clear thoughts are cutting through the bullshit. Can I say that on our own podcast?
Yeah.
If make your decision during this Cazimi hours, which are between midnight. Really, it's the whole day. It's about a 23-hour Cazimi period, which again is a very, very extended, much longer period than most Cazimis. Take a breath and then put your head back down again. If you're in the voting poll, right? Take a deep breath, look back down. Take a deep breath, look back down. Color in your circles if you haven't done it. through early voting and mail-in. So clarity for a time period.
Yes.
But clarity, for each one of us can be, I'm clear, you're clear, we differ.
Yeah. And I think that that's just voting in general. All right. So the third and final transit of Tuesday, November 8th, Mercury opposing Uranus.
Yeah, unexpected situations can create nervous disturbances. No one knows what's up and no one knows what's down. This is just a disorganized type of, anytime you got Mercury, the planet of paperwork, planet of, results and organized thought, ideas and commentation, messaging. Commentary. And it's opposing Uranus. Again, this is part of the eclipse. There's a shift. There's constant shifts going on. So it may seem chaotic. It just may be chaotic. The debris has not landed yet. We do not know what needs to be cleaned up yet. It hasn't all fallen.
Interesting. And so you do talk about this, Dave, in extensive terms
huge
for the midterm that you just finished up, which is available, ready. All you have to do is purchase and you can stream it immediately. We'll talk about that on the horizon.
Yes.
So Wednesday, November 9th, Sun opposing Uranus.
Volatile situations. The Sun, it represents the king or the leader of the country, is up against his people. Or is it vice versa, right? Are the people up against the king? This is just upheaval. This is just kind of quick changes. Again, we had Mercury opposing Uranus the night before, and now we wake up, well, we're still asleep. It's 2:26 a.m. and this Sun is making this opposition to Uranus, which happens once a year. But it's the day, it's 4, 5, 6, 7 hours after the polls close. It's surprising information. It's volatile. It's volatile.
Interesting. And so let's move on to Thursday, November 10th, Mercury square Saturn.
Here's a square. Here's another square. We have only seen squares, oppositions, a conjunction, and more oppositions. Here's a square. Right. Results are stuck. So Mercury, the planet of communication and paperwork and results, and bean counting, if you will. So counting votes. Obviously I'm putting it in the context of what's happening in our United States at that time, but it's square Saturn. So it's like things are stuck, things are limited, things are withheld, and communications of ideas, gossip, thrashing are too difficult to tune into the news. It just seems that there's just bashing, right? Bashing is going on. We need to have this serious conversation, serious conversation about Uranus, Saturn, serious conversation about long-term results when in the sign of Aquarius, which is about humanity, about the common folk, about what we're doing down here, is confused. We don't know the outcome.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
And so the second and final transit of Thursday, November 10th, Venus trine Neptune retrograde.
All right. Did we hear trine? There's one trine in here.
We did. Yeah.
We have one trine this week, and it's Venus, the planet of love and connections, friendships, is trine to Neptune. And of course, this is about compassion. But do we find a remedy? She provides a balm, and I say BALM, a balm. Am I saying that right? I don't want to say a EOBM. a balm or an ointment of serenity, right? This is Neptune. Om. The Om. Are we meditating? Are we, maybe it's too easy here to be inebriated, right? Neptune can be the escape, our escape valve, our escape room, where, we're stuck in the escape room and we don't want to get out, right? We'd rather be in the
escape
box, right? But it may be our best way to handle it. Now, I'm not saying to go and get your alcohol, but try to find other measures of going into a bathtub, doing some oming, going into a yoga class, into a meditation, divert your thoughts, put your body into a really nice environment here.
Right. Which we have control over, even when the chaos is happening, even when things are uncertain, things are volatile. We do have that ability of kind of breaking ourselves out of that space and giving ourselves the serenity and calmness that we need sometimes.
And it's really too about forgiveness too. So, if you have a family member or a loved one who is really up in arms and is against you, because there's so many things that are tripping us up this week and opposing our views. Maybe this is just the day, and this happens at Thursday morning at 6 in the morning. Maybe it's just we start giving hugs out, or we start baking cookies and just saying, let's have a remedy, here, let's get together for tea.
Ho'oponopono.
Oh, Ho'oponopono. Exactly. Like, just a little bit of compassion can go so well during this period.
Yes.
A calming.
Candle.
Aroma.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I love you.
Yeah, a candle. Share a candle. I'm going to get down to Edgewater Candles and pick myself up some more of those little tins. I used one over the weekend and I loved it.
Yes, they smell delicious.
Calming aroma.
And Friday, November 11th, Sun square Saturn.
Another square. Day is dimmed. Okay, here's the sun moving into this aspect of Saturn. This, sun is your vitality, and sun hitting a squaring the Saturn is your vitality is ebbed. Don't plan on doing much today. Take this Friday as your off day, especially from marathon training. You're not going to have the wherewithal for training for anything that's long term, because you're going to really feel this is a tired day, an exhaustion day,
right?
But you can
give yourself,
so give yourself a bit of a break.
Yes,
take some of the responsibilities away from you on this day. The responsibilities will show up, like you have to make yourself your coffee in the morning. If you don't consider that a responsibility, consider that more of a gift.
A luxury.
Yeah.
So Saturday, November 12th, Mercury trine Neptune retrograde.
Here's a trine, stillness of water. A message is coming through. So, I like this vision that I had when I wrote this. The stillness of water, like finally everything, you can find a place where there isn't water in turmoil, right? Like crashing waves. Find a pool or your bathtub or a sink full of water where you can find a message coming through. And, don't be a narcissist and try to grab at that beautiful being that's your reflection. Be aware of what others witness, right? So be aware of what others witness. So what are they seeing on your face, right? Let's make sure it's smiling with gentle eyes, compassionate eyes, saying nice, appreciative things, and just the stillness of water. And that's how Narcissus got his he
Dilemma.
fell in love with his beautiful image
Reflection.
and reflection in the water. And then he became obsessed and became narcissistic.
Yes. So Sunday, November 13th, Venus sextile Pluto.
I know, a sextile. Wait, a sextile. Okay, so this is gracious and compliant. There might be some underlying disguised by saying I love you when you mean it, because that may release any meanness. So say I love you when you mean it, because that may release the mean in the in whatever
the message,
comments or feeling you may have. I like this placement. Again, it's a sextile that says you gotta work on this one. It's about having craving for really intimate connections. Like you might have felt this whole past week of being distant from people or separate from neighbors or family members or friends, because of you kind of find out who voted how by their demeanor as something is changing this whole week. So we end the week with this being gracious.
Right.
Woo!
I mean, that's a great way to end the week, I would say.
Woo!
And so let's move into talisman times. We don't have any finished. We don't have any upcoming because this was, one of the oddity types of weeks. But let's chat quick about the talisman of the month to incorporate global togetherness. So this one is, of course, the talisman of the month is on special. It has a special price. Also, you get a $5 shipping credit. So it's like a win-win-win. And the affirmation is, I gather and teach others my extensive knowledge of universal wisdom. This brings camaraderie to the group. This is the Taurus rising, Venus in Pisces, Jupiter in Capricorn, Moon in Cancer. So this is a beautiful one. Beautiful pinks and purples.
And I picked this for the Venus in Pisces because Jupiter is in Pisces again for just about a 2-month period currently right now. And I just really like that togetherness that we really need to practice. Yeah, and we're global people. We're not, and the whole world is watching the United States this week. The whole world. Right. The whole world is dependent on what our outcome is.
Yes. Maybe not, maybe not necessarily dependent, but very interested because it does impact a lot.
Yeah. They rely on, we set precedences here in the United States because we're the apparently the one world, one nation.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on to the horizon, and we're going to quick discuss the things that you can purchase right now. They're ready to go. We have the Venus Star Point Talisman Workshop. You can either do the workshop with the talisman or just the talisman itself. So that Venus Kazemi that we were discussing earlier about, that's when the niece and new nephew started their marriage at that exact time. It's a really wonderful time to bring balance to relationships.
And actually, I know who you are, Elaine. That would make a great gift for their first year anniversary. Mm-hmm. And those have actually been selling. So we have very few left. And of course, they cannot ever be made again. Never be made again. So
also, we have our November astrology forecast ready and waiting for you to watch, where Sandy and Susan go over all of the dates of November. And just recorded recently is the midterm election astrology webinar.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about. This is something that you're going to want to listen to because it is bombastic. What is, going to be happening this election day, and already in the news headlines, already it's showing up some really interesting things.
I know I had one client this week who said her school canceled all classes on Tuesday for the kids, and these are high school kids, not to be out in the streets, going and coming from school. And then I just got a Washington Post message that they're expecting volatile turbulence going on in the United States on that day. So yeah, and it's because of the and if we know it's going on in the world because it's a total lunar eclipse, we will understand what's going on in the stars and in the sky is being reflected here on Earth. That yes, it just happens to coincide with a very important day. But, hey, midterms, we've had midterms every 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Why all of a sudden is this the biggest, is a big one, because there's so much going on, in our country, the dividing, the division, but it's also happening in the sky. So that's why it's so important down here. So we've got to really pay attention. And thank you, everybody, for listening to our astrology podcast, because you're carrying this ancient wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
This is ancient wisdom, the astrology. We say that this global togetherness talisman that we're doing for this month is, this is sharing universal wisdom. This is the universe's wisdom that we're just portraying and bringing down to the earth, and those that can open their ears, eyes, and minds and hearts can follow.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's happening.
Right.
We're going through dramatic changes down here. That's eclipse. Eclipse is dramatic openings and closings.
Right.
Anyway,
and right now it's not those normal times, but
it's not a normal election day.
Correct. Also, we have November 16th. We have a free virtual trunk show event plus a raffle. You're going to want to get your tickets. We're raffling off a universal talisman of your choice. So you get to choose from all of the talismans Sandy has been creating over the past year and even longer than that. Whichever one calls to you, that is the one that you can choose. And during that trunk show event, you're able to request to hear a little bit more information of some of those talismans that you want Sandy to showcase in the trunk show, where she talks about her inspiration, the word choice, whatever those questions are, even going over the charts. So don't forget, November 16th is that free virtual trunk show event.
And it's really fun when we set this up some years ago, because we were stuck in our sanctuary like everyone else was, and we couldn't get out doing some of our trunk shows and events. And it was really, you had it well planned, because we could highlight, it could hold the talisman, show it on camera. Mm-hmm. People could ask questions. Like you said, they can ask for specific ones and get more information, and people would buy as we're showing things. Now, the cool mm-hmm. thing is you would sell raffle tickets for $10. Mm-hmm. One raffle ticket for $10, but you got into the raffle, and you might, for each raffle ticket, you can win this opportunity to get a free, a complimentary free universal talisman. However, that $10 goes into your credit dollars into the website.
Oh, yes, that's the best thing about this raffle.
Yeah.
So any of the monetary dollars that you spend actually goes onto a gift card for you later. You get a gift card that's available for you for the next 6 months. And all of that money that you purchased these raffle tickets for is going to be on that gift certificate. So it's like a win-win-win-win.
You know, I loved it. I loved it when one woman who had been considering doing a personal intention bracelet, and she bought $500 worth of raffle tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So she got it, that's $500. So she got her name in 50 times into the bowl and took that chance and still got her personal intention bracelet. So her purchase added, you know, there was an additional opportunity to get more. So if you're thinking about a universal intention bracelet or an orbit or a chakra set of bracelets or a celestial mala, you know, get your raffle ticket, possibly can win a $244 universal intention bracelet, plus go ahead and get your mala.
Right.
Or if you're going to be buying Christmas gifts for others using intention beads, get your gift certificate now and to use in that time. It's a great idea. Seriously.
Yes. And so November 25th and 27th, we have our Jupiter and Pisces talisman making opportunity. This is a little bit different. This is pretty much off screen, where you have the ability to create a talisman with Sandy that is all about this Jupiter and Pisces energy. You get to pick the specific designs. We have a selection for you to choose from. You say, I want number 1, number 18, number 22. Sandy creates that talisman for you, and it's pretty much designed exactly to your liking. That is, again, November 25th and 27th. Click that link in the description to learn more about that specific talisman making opportunity.
And that's only one bracelet per selection. And I think there's only 2 up right now. I may put up some early Decembers. And let's just remind everybody that this is an opportunity where Jupiter, the planet of gifts, which is called the cosmic Santa Claus. So he is the benefactor of gift giving. And so this is growth, prosperity, finances, income, anything to have to do with growth and expansion is in Pisces. And I'm choosing only the direct Jupiter in Pisces because he has more things to offer. He has more resources to give when any planet does when they're direct. And he's only going to be in Pisces until December, December 20th. And then he doesn't come back into Pisces until another 11 and a half years. So this is an opportunity to get this, particularly if you're a Pisces. I know I'm making one for myself because I am Sun at 29 Pisces. So Jupiter is sitting right on my Pisces, my Pisces Sun, which, you know, as a magician or as a talisman maker, it's always important. I have not said this anywhere, although we say it in our little groups of magicians, if you will, that when the magician, when the talisman maker has nice aspects to their natal chart or nice placements in their natal chart, and I do, that it behooves and benefits the talisman, the thing being made. So this is magical. This is magical.
And these are really awesome opportunity for.
And these are $333, slightly lower than the $488.
But there is a personal aspect to it.
Yeah.
And so let's move on, because our last mention on the horizon is November 26th. That is our December astrology forecast. Now, I do have a preface here. The astrology forecasts are going to be changing. The whole entire platform of where it is, how it's done, this is going to be evolving and changing by the end of the year. So I will give you more information about that via email, via blog. So stay tuned on that. And yeah, I'm excited to tell everyone about the big changes.
So we're moving out of old school, where Susan and I have just gotten used to, and we're moving into the new millennial age.
Yes, we gotta shed our skin. We need to transform. We need to die and be reborn again. So yes, all of it is happening. Be ready.
Thank you,
also,
Alex, for leading us into
leading
this,
the change,
leading us into the new age.
So also, I don't want to forget the 2023 Mexico retreat is closing soon. So make sure to get your seat January 7th through the 14th. Also, we have our early bird is just ended for Bali. So you can still join us. That's April 1st to the 11th. And the early bird is still available for the Greece retreat on Amargos Island. So of course, if you're interested in joining us for a retreat, but still have a few questions, you can receive a free 15-minute call and reading to ask Sandy any questions to see if this retreat is a good fit for you. All right, so let's move into our house, smooth sailing, as we chat about your update on your weight loss challenge. I also want to mention here too, if anyone is noticing that we're sounding a little bit different, it's because I'm in Mexico and we are recording on a different platform than what we normally do in person. So if you're noticing any birds chirping or any wind, that's most likely the beautiful breeze of Cancun.
Yeah,
so
I'm not. Yeah, although I'll tell you what, we're having 70-degree weather here in the Midwest. So I'm not mad at you for being in Cancun.
Okay, good. So yeah, give us an update on your weight loss challenge, which I think you started a little while ago.
3 months ago.
Wow.
Yesterday marked my third finishing my third full month. And, they ask you to, well, I do anything for 3 months. When I did my Life Wave patches for my shoulder, I did it. I committed for 3 months. Mm-hmm. I always find that for me, 3 months is a turning point for me and whatever it is I'm doing. So I always give a 3-month period of really strong determination when I say yes to something. And so my food program, which, like I said, is the easiest no-brainer program I've ever been on. And
I don't think we've been giving a big update about this. So I think you need to kind of start from the beginning.
Well, it was one of my clients that was talking about, and I was seeing in her chart, and I was like, there's something new coming in with a friend. You're considering, and I mean, she has a big career. And I thought, are you leaving your career and moving to this new thing? And she laughed and said, well, I'm considering doing something with a friend who's been on this weight loss program. And I won't say the name, but it starts with the O. And I'm going to see how it goes. And the next month I talked to her because she's a monthly subscriber. And the next month I talked to her and she says, oh my gosh, I love it. And the next month, oh my gosh, I'm doing this. And I'm like, can I join? I've got, whatever COVID issue, extra packaging that I've gone through. And I think we all have over this last year or so, because
extra packaging.
Yeah, extra packaging, some bubble wrap. It's starting to look like bubble wrap.
Oh no.
You know how that looks like. You guys know what I'm talking about. And I thought, I've got some really beautiful retreats headed for 2023. I'd really like to, you know, just be more fit and be the best 66 and 67-year-old I can ever be. And she was saying how easy it was. So I joined, and she is my coach. So we trade. She's my coach and I'm her astrology coach. Not that we trade, we use each other's services. Right. And so I got my box. I ordered my box. She helped me do that, got my box, and it was like, oh, okay, this is not exactly what I thought it was. But I'm like, I dedicated to it. It's not cheap. And it was a month worth of food. You do get one big meal a day where you eat, you cook from your kitchen, and it's like massive 7 cooked ounces of protein and 1.5 cups of vegetables. And you get a fat, which is about 3/4 of an avocado. And this is all one meal. It's like going from no food or these packets or bars or shakes
to a big meal.
One meal a day is massive. And it just worked. And all of a sudden I'm seeing this just melt off. So they want you to have a goal. So I put a goal in, which was unattainable for me at my age. But it's my 3 favorite numbers, and my birthday's 3/19. And so those have always been my favorite numbers. And I thought, well, I don't want 3/19. I don't want that to be my goal weight. And I don't want
the opposite way.
193 to be my goal weight. So the only option I had was 139. Right.
Yeah.
So I made it up. I said, I'm going to choose 139. And so I was to reach that yesterday. Now I'm 5 pounds away from it, but I'm 5 pounds away from it in 3 months.
Which is huge. That's huge.
It's, we can say huge, but I feel little, right?
Yeah. That's tiny. That's tiny.
I feel tiny. I'm wearing clothes that I really should have given away. I've looked at this bin in my garage, like, I got to get rid of this. This would give me a whole empty bin. No, maybe one day I can wear those kind of crazy pants again.
We all know how that works.
I did. I wore them on the plane last week.
Yeah, you did.
That made me feel, younger, more vibrant, more connected to my determination. Like I still have it within me, and we all do. But really, I've been on weight programs. I'm a lifetime Weight Watcher. My mom took me to diet workshop when I was 16 years old. I did not know why I was getting in the car on a Wednesday night after dinner, why no other children in the family were getting in the car.
Right.
I ended up at a Weight Watchers meeting that she signed me up for. And it wasn't that I was heavy. She just thought I had bad behaviors that she needed to modify.
She needed to modify.
And I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad at her, because I have been, up and down, and no one would ever say that I was obese or no one would ever say that about me. I don't say that about me, but to be fit and to feel good. And my doctor, and this was the kind of the cherry on the top, because I've been watching my blood work as you get older, and all the blood work, and we've been watching that for about 2.5 years. And there's some numbers on here that we need to raise and some need to be lower. And we've been doing that through supplements, which are expensive. Right. So it was like supplements or this food program. And so I thought, I'm going to get off the supplements and do the food program for 3 months. So when I went for my blood work, which I do every, 4 months, basically, and I show up on my telemedicine with my naturopath in Arizona, and she goes, what are you doing? Because your numbers are back in range. And I said, oh my God, I saw that too. And I'm on this program. And she goes, stay on it. It's really working well with your body. And I said, Dr. Sina, I haven't taken any supplements while I've been on this program. And she did put me back on a couple, but because I needed vitamin D and, so just surprising that I feel so young. And here's the other thing. There's a scale called Raynor that my coach had me buy. And I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. All these purchases. And it was $24. It was $24. My scale was 20 years old. So I said, okay, I'll afford a $24 scale that connects to your phone, and you get on it every morning and you just hit your phone and say, okay, connect. And this phone picks up about 12 different body mass index, your skeletal, your visceral body fat, your weight. It picks up about 12 different things that I can't recall now. Your
water percentage,
your
BMI, all of it.
So many things. It's called Renfo. Your subcutaneous fat, your free fat-free body weight, your body water, your skeletal muscle, your muscle mass,
yes,
body mass, your protein, your BMR.
That's great information. That is really great information.
Well, and you know what, and it shows you what's in range and what's over and what's under, and but the scary part of that, because I've always known my weight, I was gaining a little bit every month or so, but the metabolic age showed I was 2 years older than what I really was. And that freaked me out. Well, I'm happy to report I'm my age.
Yay.
And now I want to get under my age.
Heck yes. That's awesome.
So that's my next goal. But anyway,
congratulations. Congratulations.
Some people have been asking what I'm on. I'm sending that information to them. And if you want, I thought about becoming a coach, but I think I'm going to leave that to my coach. But something to look at. Yeah.
I'll throw a link in the description for that scale, maybe for that program, if anyone is interested or curious about it.
One last thing, because it's like, okay, do you have to stay on this program for the rest of your life? And I don't know the answer to that, but I did go away for the weekend where it was a little bit hard because I was going with, people that we were going to dinners and lunches. And I thought, oh, how am I going to handle this? Well, I ate what I could at the dinners and lunches, and just knew, and I'd have a cocktail occasionally, just knowing that for 4 days, I was going to enjoy myself, as maximizing as I can. And then staying on my fuelings, my 5 fuelings a day. And I'm happy to report that after 4 days of doing what I wanted, eating beignets, right? Vignettes.
Yeah.
And having a hurricane.
Yeah.
I only gained 1 pound in the 4 days, and now I'm back down in the range where I started because I'm back on it. So I really think for me right now, for this next year, this is going to be my program. I'm going to enjoy what I'm doing when I'm away, and I'm getting back into what I'm to do to lose that, to staying in a range.
Right.
Yeah. Love it.
Congratulations. I know that's not it's a difficult feat. It takes a lot of determination, a lot of discipline. So congratulations again.
Thanks.
On just being so close to that unattainable goal. So I think that's a wrap on our episode today. Thank you everybody for listening in. We, of course, want to hear from you. Email me, alex@intentionbeats.com. Also, if you want to reach out to us on social media, see us there. Also sign up for our email list where we give you as much information as we can So thank you again, everybody, and have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story